everybody, welcome to White Line Fever. Welcome to White Line Fever Live. If you're listening, you know what people on YouTube do? They point at the bottom of the screen, they say like and subscribe. And if you're on the podcast, welcome back. We've got a fantastic guest. I always say that, but this one's particularly fantastic. From Beasto Blanco, and I'll be careful to say Blanco, not Blanco, the way the Aussies say it. He's Chuck Garric. Chuck, how are you?
We appreciate the correct pronunciation there. You messed up my first name, but you got the band name right. That's all that matters. I'm just messing with you. It's good to be here, man. Thank you for having us. You said you were a little sleepy, so I thought I'd wake you up. I'm going to keep you on your toes, bro.
Yeah. I thought I stuffed up a one-syllable first name. How could I do that? But
you did.
Yeah. You just got back from this side of the ditch, right? You've been in Europe. I saw some amazing videos from Wacken.
Yeah, man.
They're animals over there, aren't they? I mean it in the best way, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Hey, man, we are a little bit out of our minds as well. And Wacken was just a great community of music lovers and musicians and bands, people. It was just a collective community of people just having a good time. We had a riot over there playing the Wacken Festival. We were very well received, and it was just one of those things where it was pinnacle for us. We didn't want it to end, and we look forward to the next time, and we appreciate the entire everyone involved for getting us over to Wacken. We had a blast.
Yeah, I saw you performing Killed by Death with Mickey D. I mean, that must have been, and just like having been there a few times, the Germans just absolutely, everyone worships Lemmy, right? But the Germans,
if you don't listen, if you don't love Lemmy, man, I don't know. You must be like a communist or something. I don't know, but I got to tell you, Lemmy is, the history, the rock and roll attitude, the swagger, the sound, the voice, the lyrics. You don't really need any. There's no tricks. It's just pure rock and roll. He loved what he did. He loves what he loves. I love Motorhead with just such a passion. And there's a great story I love about Lemmy, and he became such a dear friend of mine, and Mickey and Phil. But one of the stories I love the most is, I was talking to Mickey about Lemmy. I said, yeah. Mickey goes, "Oh, I see you're playing guitar in Beasto, and why aren't you playing bass?" I said, "Well, I did the opposite, that Lemmy did. Lemmy started off as a guitar player and became a bass player." And Mickey goes, "Well, he actually started off as just a guy carrying an empty guitar case." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, in high school, he would see all the musicians carrying around guitars and instruments, and all the girls followed them. So Lemmy went out and got himself an empty guitar case and would carry that around with him just to get the attention of the ladies." I thought that was just the beginning of somebody's genius, right?
Yeah, wow, that is a good story. And you think, well, just when you think you've heard all the Lemmy stories, there's always another one, isn't there? But I was just yesterday talking to a guy from an Aussie band called the Southern River Band, and they were talking about they just came over here for the first time to Europe, and they were like, "Wow, more people have paid attention to us in 6 weeks than did in the previous 10 years." And I just wonder, like, there must be quite a few bands in the rest of the world who play heavy music who, without their European fan base, they wouldn't have a band. I mean, it is quite amazing, isn't it?
It really is. And it's not only that, but we have, some of our band members are European or German. I mean, our bass player, Jan, is from Cologne, Germany. And we recorded Kinetica in Hamburg with Chris Harms from Lord of the Lost. And, it was, that's absolutely, Europe is massively important to the rock and roll community.
Yeah. And Kinetica kind of, now just listening to the like, and I know in these interviews, people love to offer their opinions, whether you ask for them or not, but it does sound like it's got more of a sort of European, like that melodic kind of, vibe, that thing that's very, very big in Europe, has there been a move in that direction, subconsciously or consciously?
I think both. I think we welcomed a change. We knew we we were looking to do something a little different on the record Kinetica. And when we got introduced to Chris Harms, I realized I was in the presence of somebody who loved Beasto's past, really loved what we had been doing, and had a wonderful vision of how he wanted to give us a little bit of a twist. And we couldn't help but have the European twist. I mean, we spent so much time over in Europe touring with Beasto Blanco, and like I said, our manager is from Germany, our record label is from Germany, our bass player is from Germany. We spend so much time over there. It was just time that we did the American European handshake, if you will, and we blended sort of that rawness that Beasto Blanco has to the danger of the metal sound, and found our perfect blend that works so well with Beasto. You know, you can throw so many different elements of music at us, and we will instantly turn it into our own. We're really good at it.
Yeah, because I was reading about you've done sort of stuff with members of Evanescence and stuff like that, and it kind of has that vibe. You know, it's like you've been listening to that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just yeah. Awesome. Welcome back. Second part of our chat with Chuck Garric from Beasto Blanco. Want to thank him for his time. Now, yes, and we just, unfortunately, it's for the previous episode, but the Run for Your Life video is quite sci-fi and stuff. What, like, with Alice doesn't have Alice is it's not a specific thing. He's not a sci-fi rocker. He's not a gore fest rocker. You know, it's shock rock. It covers the whole gamut. What is the vision now for Beasto Blanco in terms of that theme? Is the sci-fi thing a nod to the future, or is it just for that video? You know, are you sort of narrowing your focus as in terms of, you know, the image? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're absolutely a sci-fi band. We are lovers of sci-fi. The idea of being able to jump from time and space, and create these characters that are, you're not quite sure if we're the villains or the heroes. I think it lends itself very, very well with just who we are as people, having something to identify with as we created this Beasto Blanco characters and band, stepping into new shoes, me stepping into being a guitar player, lead singer, Calico stepping into singing as well. It was something that happened unintentionally, but we sort of found ourselves summoning and thinking about internalizing these inner spirit animals, if you will, something to give us motivation to help us get past our fears and run through these barriers that were maybe stopping us from trying something new. And that's where the Beasto Blanco comes from. It's sort of, you know, my Hulk, if you will. To some, it's our Wolfman, or in Calico, who developed this character Machine Girl, who's just fearless and just a force to be reckoned with. Also, Beasto Blanco is very much a visionary type band. There's a lot of visuals. There's a lot of stories that go on with our songs, and the sci-fi element really lends itself to who we are sonically. We've done a video for every single song on this record. Our concepts sort of tie in the characters, tell the story of where we all come from, how we meet. You know, there's such a massive dynamic between Calico and I. And we lift each other up in so many ways. And who are these people? Who is Machine Girl and who is Beasto? And by having this medium of video, and we were able to blend them all together. And at the end of this whole thing, once all the videos have been released, we've developed pretty much and produced an entire film almost of everything. So you can get involved in the characters more so, and the history, and learn more about what Beasto Blanco is, because you'd be surprised how much it really does apply to each and every one of us, you know?
Yeah, because it sounds like you've always been somewhat theatrical, but it sounds like you've made a decision to become, well, you don't get much more theatrical than to put out a movie. So what is it? Did this just come from inspiration, or was it a decision based on other things? What made you?
It just came out of just being inspired by our material and by the talents that lie within this band. Calico is an amazing writer, director, She's able to tell so much of a story just for your listeners alone, just watching the Run for Your Life video. I mean, that's a 3.5 minute music video with so much story being told. It's not just us just performing the songs. There's a story being told there, and you get a lot of that from the Beasto music. It's more than just a band performance, and it's kind of hard not to be theatrical with somebody like Calico Cooper in our band.
How does that translate to the stage, Chuck? And how do you sort of reflect that in your live show?
Well, you've seen it, man. You've seen the videos from Vakken. I mean, she is a force to be reckoned with. She's one of the best performers out there, as far as I'm concerned. She just snaps into this character, and when she does, it's jaw dropping. She's a fantastic artist, and it's just amazing to watch her. The one thing we do with Beasto is, the one thing we know going into each show is we know what the set list is going to be, but that's really just about it, man. We don't rehearse a choreography or what's next, you know? And I think that's what makes it just very dangerous and raw and theatrical, because we're just as surprised as the audience is sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Welcome back. Third part of our interview and final part of our interview with Chuck Garric from Beasto Blanco. I want to thank him for his time. You know, you've just been here, and I'm actually going to go to. I'm going to Nashville at the end of the month. I'm going to try to sneak into one of those Hagar shows. Bloody expensive. Wrong city to go to for the secondary market for tickets. But where we sit now with all these bands retiring, you know, and Alice is still out there as if nothing's changed, you know, in 40 years or 50 years. Where are we heading in terms of, you know, the live music scene, do you think, Chuck? You know, you've been in so many bands, and you know, you obviously went out to Hollywood and like a movie in itself, and stayed there when all your mates went home. So you've seen it from the start. You went to see Humble Pie as a kid, and you know, so
you've done your homework.
Well, a little bit, you know, a little bit. So where are we? Are we at an inflection point now where all these bands are disappearing, or are they all going to continue as avatars? You know,
who
where
knows,
are we
man?
going?
Who knows? We don't come to stay forever. We come to leave a legacy. We come to leave a mark. Our heroes, our rock and roll heroes, the ones that are still with us and the ones that have passed, they've done their job. They're still inspiring us. They're still inspiring guys like myself out there making music and touring. Our job is just to continue that through the generations as we perform throughout the United States and Europe with Beasto Blanco and Alice Cooper. I see the crowd getting younger and younger and younger. Our job is to keep inspiring these kids to pick up instruments, to start rock and roll bands, or whatever they want to do musically. I think that way it'll never go away. The live show, to me, can never go away. There's nothing like it. You get a sense, you get a feeling throughout your body. It shakes your bones. You want to move differently. You vibrate differently when you're seeing a live show. It's a totally different experience. I don't see how it can go away. If and when it does, I hope I'm not around to see it, because that'd be a real shame, man. But I think the most important thing I can do is just continue to contribute musically, artistically. I am a person who battles fear and just like everybody else, or self-doubt. And I have to, my inspiration to everybody is to just put those thoughts somewhere else on a shelf. Don't pay any attention to them. Go out there and do it, because there's nothing more rewarding than the accomplishment of getting your art out there and getting the people to listen to it and love it. And I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with people that have the same vision. We inspire each other. And this record, Kinetica, has been so well received, and I'm so proud of it, because we've worked our ass off, man, to get to where we are. This is not any way an overnight sensation. This is 4 albums and us touring throughout Europe and the United States, and we continue to keep doing that. And we hope one day to get back over to Australia and get over towards the UK as well here soon. So, you know, we're doing our best, man.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome what you just said. But the
Thank
key word about live, that's the
yeah.
big thing now, isn't it? What's live and what isn't? You know, have you got a position on that? Have you got thoughts on that?
Hey man, if there's a living, breathing person up on stage, I think it's live. As long as you're not, you know, mimicking of your the vocal and you're singing
Mm.
along to it, whether it's, you know, some of these people you see on American Idol that are just playing to like a maybe a somebody else's songs that have been written, sort of karaoke type thing. It doesn't matter, man. Hone in your craft. For us, Beasto Blanco is a live rock and roll band. We're playing our instruments. We're giving you everything we got. It's blood, sweat, and tears. That's what we're about. It doesn't mean you have to be about that. But that's who Beasto Blanco is. We're unpredictable, we're raw, we're dangerous, and we love what we do. And we are entertainers first and foremost.
I've got a couple more questions. I'll let you go. One of them is one that I kind of had saved up, and I thought if I would ask you if I ever got the opportunity. That's kind of a compliment, I guess. Is that over the years, watching you, you've always been in pretty decent shape, and when you're touring and you're eating crap and drinking, I don't know whether you drink or not, but
I do.
you do, yeah. So do I. So you know, you could maybe when I come to Nashville and I'm staying in a hotel and eating at the buffet, you can give me some advice. Not in person. You can give me some advice now. How do you stay in shape when you're on the road? What's your regimen regime?
uh, you know, just eat as much crap as you possibly can and have a good time doing it, bro. You know, look, man, everybody knows their body. The only you
Yeah.
know your body, man. If you feel like shit, don't eat it, man. If you feel good, keep doing it. But I think the
Yeah.
most important thing, I got to tell you, what inspires me more than anything are the people that are in shape up here.
Mhm,
This is where it all begins, man.
mhm,
You
mhm,
know, I see people just having the best time of their life. We just got done touring Europe and it's pissing down rain. And these people are out there and they're enjoying it. They're singing every song. And I think that's because these guys are mentally strong or they're just completely insane.
Yep.
Whatever it is, it looks like it's a good time. I say stay out of your head if it's not giving you the things you want, and the rest will follow. You know, I mean, that's it, man. Fish rots at the head. So keep your mind sharp, man, and you'll the rest will follow. Trust me.
Only you know what makes you happy, I guess.
Right.
Only each of us know what makes us happy. And also just with this, the lineup at Alice has been very, very settled now for a
Yeah.
while. But you
Yeah.
did have Kane Roberts return
Yeah.
recently. So that was going to be my last question. I was just going to ask you what that was like, you know?
Man, Kane's a great guy. It was my first time actually getting a chance to hang out with him, and you know, we all know his history with Alice. He has such great stories, being part of Alice's group in the '80s, and he's one of the funniest guys I've ever been around. To be honest with you, I can see that him and Alice have a really unique relationship, and for the short time that Kane was with us, we we had a really good time, man. We were constantly ribbing each other in the dressing room, laughing, having a good time, and I wish him all the best. I look forward to seeing him again soon.
And talking about guys who are in good shape, Kane Roberts. Okay, one.